Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going on a journey across centuries, cultures, and literary revolutions to explore the books that changed world literature forever. These are not just famous works, they transformed storytelling itself. They changed how writers think, how readers experience stories, and how literature reflects human life. Let's begin. 1. The epic beginning, the Odyssey. One of the earliest works that shaped storytelling is the Odyssey by Homer. Written in ancient Greece, this epic poem introduced many storytelling elements we still use today: the hero's journey, adventure across unknown lands, moral testing, and the idea of personal transformation through struggle. Odysseus is not a perfect hero. He is clever, flawed, emotional, and human. This was revolutionary because literature began to explore character psychology rather than just heroic strength. Almost every modern adventure story, from novels to films, owes something to this ancient narrative structure. 2. The birth of psychological drama, Hamlet. Moving forward to the Renaissance, we encounter Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Before Shakespeare, drama focused mainly on action. But Hamlet turned literature inward. Instead of asking, what happens next, readers began asking, what does the character feel? Hamlet thinks, doubts, questions morality, and struggles with existence itself. His famous reflections introduced deep psychological realism into literature. Modern character-driven storytelling, novels, films, and even modern television, emerged from this shift toward inner conflict. 3. The first modern novel, Don Quixote. Next comes a book many scholars call the first modern novel, Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. Published in the early 17th century, it changed literature by questioning reality itself. Don Quixote imagines himself as a knight in a world that no longer believes in chivalry. The novel blends comedy, satire, and tragedy while constantly reminding readers that stories influence how we see the world. This was revolutionary because literature became self-aware. Writers began exploring illusion versus reality, a theme that still dominates modern fiction. 4. Social reality enters literature, Pride and Prejudice. In the 19th century, literature shifted toward everyday life through Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Instead of kings and warriors, Austen focused on ordinary people, families, relationships, and social expectations. She transformed the novel into a space for observing society. Through wit and irony, she explored class, gender roles, and marriage. This work helped establish realism in fiction, proving that ordinary human experiences could be as powerful as epic adventures. 5. The rise of moral and psychological complexity, Crime and Punishment. Then came psychological realism at its deepest level with Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This novel explores guilt, morality, and the human conscience through the character Raskolnikov, a man who believes intellectual superiority justifies crime. Dostoevsky changed literature by entering the darkest corners of the human mind. Readers were forced to confront ethical questions rather than simple moral lessons. Modern psychological novels and existential literature grew directly from this innovation. 6. Modernism begins, Ulysses. The early 20th century brought a literary revolution through Ulysses by James Joyce. Joyce broke traditional storytelling rules. Instead of clear narration, he used stream of consciousness, writing that follows the natural flow of thoughts. The novel takes place in a single day, yet explores memory, identity, language, and perception in extraordinary depth. After Ulysses, literature no longer needed linear storytelling. Writers realized that the inner world of thought could become the story itself. 7. The fragmented modern world, The Waste Land. Poetry also experienced transformation with The Waste Land by T.S. Eliot. Written after World War I, this poem reflected a world filled with confusion and cultural collapse. Eliot combined multiple languages, myths, and fragmented voices. Readers had to actively interpret meaning rather than passively receive it. Modern poetry became symbolic, layered, and intellectually demanding, influencing generations of poets worldwide. 8. Literature meets the absurd, Waiting for Godot. Mid-20th century drama changed forever with Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. In this play, almost nothing happens. Two characters wait endlessly for someone who never arrives. This challenged traditional storytelling expectations. Instead of plot-driven drama, Beckett explored meaninglessness, time, and human existence. The theater of the absurd emerged from this work, redefining modern drama and influencing contemporary theater across the globe. 9. Magic realism and global storytelling, 100 Years of Solitude. Finally, world literature expanded beyond Europe with 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This novel introduced magic realism to global audiences, blending everyday reality with extraordinary events presented as normal. Ghosts, miracles, and history coexist naturally, reflecting cultural memory and collective experience. It changed literature by proving that storytelling traditions from Latin America, Asia, and Africa could reshape global literary standards. Why these books matter. So what connects all these works? Each one changed a fundamental rule of literature. The Odyssey shaped narrative structure. Hamlet introduced psychological depth. Don Quixote created the modern novel. Pride and Prejudice focused on social realism. Crime and Punishment explored moral psychology. Ulysses reinvented narrative form. The Waste Land transformed poetry. Waiting for Godot redefined drama. 100 Years of Solitude globalized storytelling. Together, they show that literature is constantly evolving. Every generation rewrites how stories can be told.